So, in the past, a lot of people have thought that hormones are linked to teen risky behavior. However, it's now, through the advancement of technology, it has been found that there are actual biological reasons for why teens take risks and make bad decisions. So, some of the biological implications of teen risk-taking is that their frontal lobe is not fully developed yet. So, the frontal lobe is the part of the brain which affects your judgment, your self-awareness, and your decision-making overall. It also has a lot of emotional aspects to it, so through MRI exams, it's been shown that obviously a teen's frontal lobes are not fully developed, and these lobes develop in your early 30s and your late 20s. There's also a part of the brain called the nucleus accumbens, which Lauren Steinberg, professor of psychology at Temple University, has said that it's enlarged in a teenager's brain. So this part of the brain also affects your reward center, and his theory is that this is why everything feels better as a teenager. So driving in a car with your friends, doing anything fun is just listening to music is a lot more fun as a teenager, and then when you get older, it just gets less and less fun because this nucleus accumbens is no longer enlarged. So, although there are biological reasons for why teenagers take risks and make bad decisions overall, there are also environmental factors and outside influences that can affect the way they make judgments and choose to do certain things over others. So, one huge misconception is that intervention programs work. Well, they actually don't. So, intervention programs are based on the values that teenagers don't know any better, don't really know the consequences of their actions, and they feel invincible and invulnerable. It turns out, actually, that teenagers are very vulnerable and they overestimate their risks of dying, whether it be from accidents, illness, or crime. So in a Carnegie Mellon study done in 2000, it had a sample of a couple of thousand of teenagers, and they were asked what they think their risks of dying were from certain circumstances. And they highly overestimated their risks, which shows that intervention programs are ineffective. Because let's say a teenager thinks that through one act of unprotected sex, they can get HIV 50% of the time. Intervention programs give them a statistic that's 1 in 500 at most. What do you think the teenager is going to do? So, on top of the fact that intervention programs don't work, teenage peer influence is also huge. So in another study done by the U.S. National Library of Medicine, teenagers and adults were asked to do a computerized driving task, and when a teenager was put in the car, in the area with another teenager, they engaged in risky behavior a lot more, whereas the adults were unaffected by another peer driving with them. So this also goes to show that their reward center or the nucleus accumbens is activated a lot more when they are in the presence of other peers. So in conclusion, there are many biological factors that play into teen risk-taking behavior, as well as environmental factors. So the misconception that teens don't know any better or are unaware of their consequences are huge misconceptions that should be knocked. Thank you.